So much of this is racist, and it's not even a dog whistle, it's just overtly racist.
Yeah.
Right? And the reality is that
he's trying to find
God, he's like, no one else does it.
We literally just played it.
He's treating them like
We literally
objects.
just played it.
Are you really going to have this conversation?
I'm quoting the president. He said they're very special.
To know who he's referring to when he talks about inner city people, I think we all know what that little dog whistle is all about. But apparently those people, as he would term them, don't want to do that kind of backbreaking work.
I'm not interested in if inner city people, let's just say you're talking about black people, because predominantly we represent inner city people. I'm not interested in black people working on farms. I'm interested in black people.
At the end, he said they're very special people.
Like objects. And my hope, Scott, is that you do not agree with
Here's what they're
for me to move forward on. All this other stuff is noise to me. That's not going to make a difference for black people in this country.
Hello, everybody. Guys, let's get right into this segment. Looks like the racism Tourette's is flaring up amongst Republicans again. Just look at how Little Sure Michael defends black and brown people here, and then I'll show you how he defends Jewish people. Let me know in the comments if you see anything that seems a bit off. Check this out. This is pretty sick.
All right, tonight President Trump is suggesting a special pass for undocumented farm workers, something his base might not particularly like. Here's his reason.
We're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, you can't replace them very easily. You know, people that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? You know, these are very, in many ways, they're very, very special people.
Sochi, what's he saying there, that these people do it naturally?
I mean, it's unhinged. It's offensive. What he has said there, my hope is that Republicans will speak out against it. It's...
Mommy, Republicans? These people buy crayons and throw the colors out. They're not going to say shit about this.
Trying to target migrant immigrants and speaking as if they're only useful to Donald Trump for one job. You know, I think part of his comments as well, we're talking about how he wants to help the farmers. What I find interesting is his deportation policies actually hurt the farmers. So he's admitting that his policies hurt farmers and are hurting farm workers. He could put a stop to all of this. He could end up stopping those deportations of farm workers. He could end up stop doing raids the way that he has been doing them. But instead, you're hearing this rhetoric that unfortunately Republicans are not speaking out against. And these are not animals. They are not objects. These are human beings with families who have fled countries. They have fled dangerous conditions. And so my hope is that Republicans will speak out.
Caleb, there is an economic reality going on in agriculture, yes?
Yeah, it's a $1.5 trillion industry. It's about 5.5% of U.S. GDP. We're really finding out who the essential workers really are in this economy. When you look at what's supporting the farm industry and food prices, when you're about to see tariffs potentially coming from Mexico and Canada, which are big exporters of produce to the United States, and our farm system is about to be under a lot of pressure, you're seeing what's important right now, and it shows you an anti-immigration policy that wasn't very well thought through at the beginning. If all of a sudden there might be these clawbacks or this touchback program that might be potentially proposed.
Scott, Sochi said that Republicans should apologize for the fact that the president said that migrants do this work naturally.
Well, first of all, he said they're very special people. He obviously knows exactly how hard they're working when they get here, and he's trying to find.
He's like, no one else does it.
We literally just played it.
He's treating them like
we literally
objects.
just played
it.
it.
Are you really going to have this conversation?
I'm quoting the president. He said they're very special people. Did he not?
That is not what Donald Trump
did. He say it or not?
Donald Trump was treating
he said they're very special people.
like objects, and my hope, Scott, is that you do not agree with
Here's what they're trying to figure out.
Come on, of course Scott Jennings agrees with it. He's an open, as far as I see it, an open and proud racist. If it's about Jewish people, he absolutely loses his mind and calls anything anti-Semitic. If Trump says Haitians are eating cats and dogs, he freezes for over a minute, won't answer, and has a complete meltdown. I won't show it again for the 100th time that I've shown it on this channel. It's not difficult to see why that is either. He's just a bigot, just like the overwhelming majority of Republicans. This is the thing. Republicans just can't seem to help it. Like Trump, it's their racism Tourette. It flares up randomly. They have a mental disorder. When they see or hear a black person or a brown person, Hispanic, Arab, their mind starts to malfunction. They start seeing things. They start getting very diluted. Hispanic Republicans out there, are you starting to get the effing point? They're talking about our people. As much as you try and separate yourself from immigrants, as if alligator Alcatraz hasn't convinced you enough, conservatives will never see us as equals. Don't believe me? Ask black people. They know better than all of us. But don't ask little Shermichael there. He throws black people under the bus every day of the week.
You said, he's got to deal with his base on this. He does have immigration hardliners in his base. He also has farmers and agriculture people and rural people who live in agriculture communities in his base that have been talking to him about this. So you do have some competing interests here. It sounds like what they're trying to come up with possibly, and I know it's under discussion, is a way for deportations to occur, but it's like a touchback program. These people maybe get a special waiver to come and do agriculture work. I know they're talking about expanding the H-2A program to possibly include dairy farmers as well, but it's obviously not completed internally yet. They're still debating this out. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but obviously he's hearing from two groups, the immigration hardliners, but at the same time, the farmers and the agriculture community have clearly gotten his ear and made some compelling cases to him.
What about the home health aides? What about the other people who are doing backbreaking labor, who are undocumented immigrants here, right? So why are we singling out one group of people? If you think that undocumented immigration is a huge problem, and this president ran an entire campaign based on that, his entire political career is based on that, then why are you protecting one class of undocumented migrants while putting others in alligator Alcatraz, while separating them from their native-born children, while deporting them to places like CCOT and so on and so forth, right? Because this is not about anything other than cruelty and about what's best for Donald Trump. He is treating these people like commodities, and they are human beings, and they are people, and yet they're being commoditized to do the quote-unquote backbreaking work. I would also love to know who he's referring to when he talks about inner city people. I think we all know what that little dog whistle is all about.
We all know.
But apparently those people, as he would term them, don't want to do that kind of backbreaking work. Why not? And who are they that he's referring to?
Black people. And hell no, they won't be doing those jobs. F that.
So much of this is racist. And it's not even a dog whistle, it's just overtly racist, right? And the reality is that we are specifically taking an entire group of people and making them into commodities. That is not what this is not what the United States is about. This is not what this country is about. It never has been, not since slavery at least was eradicated. And now we have a president who's very much treating these people like they're not people, like they're not human beings.
Sure, Michael.
Look at Scott Jennings. Quiet as can be. Where's the screaming anti-Semitism for a protest on campus? Isn't it completely obvious who Scott Jennings is? Forget Scott Jennings, who the Republican Party is.
About 30 seconds left.
Look, I'm not interested in if inner city people, let's just say you're talking about black people, because predominantly we represent inner city people. I'm not interested in black people working on farms. I'm interested in black people getting opportunities in STEM. We've dominated the arts and entertainment. We've dominated politics. We got to dominate STEM. We got to dominate the financial sector. We need to see an improvement and an increase in our numbers and black entrepreneurship. That's what I want to see Republicans focus on. That's what I think the country needs to focus on. We've been there. We've done that. Now it's time to move the needle forward for black people in this country. Again, particularly in business and finance. That's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to see the needle moving forward on. All this other stuff is noise to me. That's not going to make a difference for black people in this country. Finance, entrepreneurship, coupled with the arts, coupled with politics, is how we continue to move forward. If we rise, the rest of the country rises with us.
All right, thank you one and all for being.
Little shit Michael is so pathetic. Doesn't mention Trump. Doesn't mention how this kind of crap is foundational to the Republican Party. Fight for your people, you effing wuss. Stand up for yourself. All of this is noise. No, your party is racist, you snake. How many times do Republicans have to show you in order for you to understand what they think about black people or brown people? Like, where is your heart, man? Dignity, self-respect. Always with the same crap. I'm not sure why he's focusing on this. That's the most pushback he'll give Trump. Or when Republicans were asking for Derek Chauvin to be pardoned, he made excuses for that too. Well, they aren't in the White House. Like, dude, where's the animation? Want to see how animated he gets when he fights for Jewish people?
Rhetoric as it pertains to Jewish people in the state of Israel is deplorable and disgusting. She shouldn't even be in Congress, in my opinion. And them showing up on those college campuses is a green light for the most vicious, disgusting, despicable rhetoric against Jewish students and against Jewish people. You can absolutely draw a correlation. And to pretend that they were on the college campuses and saying kumbaya is to just be naive.
You know, I mean, the governor and I were
talking explicitly about college campus protests. You can trace it to about 18 months ago, the increase. That's what I'm saying.
Sure,
and Democrats had every opportunity to address this. They did not. Even Kamala, the former vice president, when she was running, had an opportunity to be direct on this issue. She meandered all over the place.
She was very
There are
direct.
2 counties in Pennsylvania that typically voted Democrat, pretty heavy Jewish counties, that voted for Trump as a result of Democrats' inability to come to their defense.
And guys, sorry about the camera quality. I'm going to get that fixed. But where's the effing fight for your people? Trump can't fire you anymore like he did in his first term. Like, what are you so afraid of? Stop being such a coward and such a fear of retaliation from a party that will always think you are less than, my man. Just a couple months ago, Shermichael was okay with sending Hispanic immigrants to their deaths. Then 2 weeks later, says the exact opposite, as the sentiment started to shift amongst Americans. He's just a little worm. He thinks if he just bends for the Republicans just a little bit more, that what, they'll finally accept you into the team? You're never going to be part of the team. Like, and he knows this. This is the thing that I want to make clear. He knows this. And like, think about how sick that is. He knows this, but he doesn't care as long as he can get his wallet right. He doesn't mind harming his own people. I despise people like that in politics more than effing anyone. Like, how dare you? Like, think about what Martin Luther King stood for and Malcolm X and the work that they did so that little Shermichael could even be sitting there, just so that he can try to what? Reverse what Martin Luther King and Malcolm X did for him, did for all of us. My ass wouldn't be in this country if it wasn't for black people fighting for civil rights, for all of us. Like, how effing dare you sit there and help the party that's trying to retract all of that back? Like, it really pisses me off. It's always one thing or another with these people. If we aren't labeled as violent, incompetent, or lazy, we're labeled as some kind of tool, like here, a subhuman of sorts that is there in the service of the more elite human. And hey, remember when Trump said illegal immigrant jobs are actually black jobs? I had Republicans in my comments try to say, oh, that's not what he meant by that. Now do you see what he meant? If it wasn't clearly obvious before. Hispanics, for the last effing time. Oh, I'm sure it's not going to be the last time. This is why I ask that we stand with black people. These people see us all the same. Black person in high position, oh, that's DEI. They didn't deserve it. I mean, this is just who Republicans are, an overwhelming amount of them. Same goes for Arabs. You're seeing it with Mamdani. It's always the same racist garbage. Oh my God, 9/11. Oh my God, terrorism. How about the Jewish people? I mean, like, it's why racism is always used to get Republicans and conservatives attention and support and loyalty. It's their go-to move as Republicans. I can make a mile list long of the constant racist attacks coming from that side. It's time we unite and shift the balance of power, and let's see who the F is going to be out in those damn fields. And again, it's not all white people, obviously. I know a lot of good white people. They just don't happen to be Republican or conservatives. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. This really pissed me off for multiple reasons, but let me know what you think about all this in the comments. I love reading all what you guys got to say. I try to read all of them at least. Please leave a like, subscribe if you aren't. Really helps push the message out there. And I'll catch you in the next.